my second eggs match. Oh man, this has got to be the last video for today. So let's see, decent hand, not bad. I mean it could be better, but whatever, I guess. And the opponent's got to mulligan this. Yeah. And mulligan that. Yeah. There they go. Stuck on one land, but they might be able to do something. So, yeah. So I have the lock. And here I notice my opponent does not play a second land. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, you know, I have the lock, so it should be relatively easy. And I'm looking to maybe surgical a non-basic land to really keep my opponent off of lands, but I wasn't quite sure. I wanted to wait on the trigger for that. So I go for discard mode just to get, well, discard in life just to get the information. And just in case there's like a Faith's Reward or something. But either way, I get information here, which is important. And what it tells me is I'm going to win, pretty much. So yeah, this is like a super crazy lock. Go get Pixis because, I mean, honestly, it's a good mill rock, but also because I know my opponent's running Emrakul. Most eggs let's do anyways, but I know specifically that this opponent is too. So getting rid of all those lands in a row there. There we go. Thoughtseize. I can't remember what I grabbed here. I think the Ichor whatever thing. Ichor Wellspring, yeah. Because that way, if there's a second land on top, I can surgical Ichor Wellspring, and then they're still kind of screwed on lands or whatever. And opponent concedes. Game 2. It seems like a decent hand. What I'm most afraid of here is the blowout of my opponent killing my Codex Shredder with Artifact Destruction. But I figured it was worth the chance. I already won game 1 anyways, so... There we go. So no blowout, so I'm good to go here. What I need to do now is grab a land. And instead I happen to top deck one, which is great. So go for the Inquisition. Dispel's not going to matter to me. I don't have surgical right now. I might eventually. But I grabbed the Trawler. That way they can't really combo off. And there's the Wear and Tear. But strings, yeah, fair, and seal. That way my opponent still can't combo off. Yeah. So with the seal, what I do is, in response, I force him to crack the Sphere. Because Sphere is basically a demonic tutor. I can't respond to the mana ability. But I can grab the Dispel. So now any surgical I draw is live. And Lantern. So yeah, this is like super good now. And opponents, I guess, trying not to do the ironworks because they don't want to, you know, I guess lose it to the seal. Yeah, and they get the face reward, which is kind of poopy. Now what I do here is I use seal on the opal. Um, that way it cuts off their 4th mana, so they don't have 4th mana. Yeah, good, and Ghost Quarter a land. Unfortunately, they do have another basic. So what I probably should have... Oh, and I had to get rid of the Thinner's Fair. So what I probably should have done here, instead of grabbing the quarter, I probably should have grabbed a surgical. And then surgical like the trawlers or something. That's probably what I should have done. So I am in some serious trouble here. I got to keep them off that 4th mana. Now here I make a mistake because I self-mill my surgical with my bell, which was poopy. I should have just drawn the surgical and let it be. Because then on my turn I could have milled. If they try to draw in response with star, then in response I can mill and surgical or something. So yeah. Go ahead and mill the Echoing Truth. And I don't need that Blooming Marsh right now. So I'm walking a really tight line here. It's not doing well at all. Yeah, and the sphere means that they're going to get the 4th mana. It doesn't matter what I do now. Yeah. So super not cool. Yeah. So they go to draw the trawler, and because I mean it makes sense. They were gonna because trawler would get them back the Mox Opal, and then they'd have their 4th mana that they need. So in response, I try to mill. Unfortunately, there's lands on top after that, and I mean it's too much. I can't deal with all of it. And they were able to get the 4th land thanks to the sphere, which I can't control. So 4th land, there's Ironworks, and now I lose. So here, I figured my best chance was hopefully that I could shuffle at the right time with Lantern to throw them off. They have 17 cards left in the library. So first is good. Second, no, I cannot let my opponent draw Shredder because they have the mana to sack it and get back anything they need. So I have to sack Lantern to get rid of that. They draw, yeah. They're drawing a bunch of stuff. So Tyndall Ice Bridge, they're drawing with the what is it they just used to draw? Ichor Wellspring. They sack the Wellspring. Where's it at? Oh, no, they draw the Ichor Wellspring. I'm sorry, and they yeah, the Shredder. So they draw the Shredder, and that's going to be it. Yep. And now they have the mana to do all sorts of stuff. Um, they don't have white mana for the face reward. Um, but because of Wellspring, they're still good. Yeah, they draw into an Opal, so that gives them the white mana, so then now they can do face reward. Or even Wear and Tear, and I lose. So yeah. Game 3. What am I doing? Being dumb. I'm not quite all here right now. Alright, so mulligan and go for it. Opponent brought in Dispel again. What? So keep Scry, and they got a face reward in hand. No, they scried to the top, so that's why I belled here. And I mean, I could have milled that sphere, but I did not want to quite yet. Because I really wanted that bridge. Now my opponent, I go to mill the Dispel, and my opponent has to sack the sphere to draw it. So that's good. Now they don't have sphere, and I just got to worry about the Dispel, but I have Inquisition on top. So really, that's going to be it. I'm good to go. I can get rid of the Dispel, and I have the lock. That should be game. I mean, heck, I could have milled the face reward and Surgical Bat. But what I was worried about there is my opponent might sack the Terrarion in response and get some good draw out of it. So instead I play it nice and slow. So opponent goes for the face reward with the Terrarion. In response, I Surgical the Terrarion, so they get nothing back. And it gives me some information on my opponent's deck. Now, I could have milled the Crane and Surgical the face reward here. But I figured anything the Crane gets probably shouldn't matter that much. It's just a bunch of cantrips. The worst case scenario is they got a, what's it called? Oh man. The dude. Scrap Trawler. Go ahead and grab base reward, because Ironworks isn't going to be doing squat. Reward could draw them multiple cards. So I go ahead and grab a Ruins. That sets up my Go Color spell. And that's it. I mean, at this point, it's just easy to keep my opponent off of anything good with just a single Mill Rock in the Lantern. Again, I know my opponent has Emrakul, so I go to use a tutor to get Pixis. Yeah, I know that Wear and Tear is okay to let them draw because of that Welding Jar. Yep. And I mean, the lock is pretty nuts now. I can pretty much mill at will. Ooh, here my opponent had a bunch of runners in a row, so that was pretty good. So I did have to worry about Scrap Trawler. Um, so what I do here is instead of try to keep milling, I wait until their draw phase. They got a scrap trawler in their graveyard. So what I plan on doing is during their draw phase, I'll sack Shredder, get back Surgical, and then Surgical Trawler. And it works out. So it's still got a good lot. And I can always just get back the Shredder with Ruins, and I got another Shredder on top. Yeah, can't let my opponent have that Shredder. Elsewhere Flask is okay. It's just sorcery speed draw. Doesn't do anything. So I mill in response to the draw, so they can't get the star, because instant speed draw could be a problem. And they have an Emrakul. So I let them draw the Emrakul, because I'm going to mill them out before they can build up the hand size to discard it. So they go to play Emrakul. And they take an extra turn. They try to wear and tear the bridge. In response, I sack Jar to save it. And I just got to keep them off of a decent card. So at end of turn, I'm going to mill that Glintnest Crane just to make sure nothing happens. There's an island on top, and that's it. I mean, luck is still there. They just got a big critter in play, that's all. And that's it. So, pretty good. That's another eggs matchup.